everyone! My name's Haley and I'm doing this video to practice for the phone interview. I know it's a ways away, but it's always good to practice. So this video is basically me just stating questions that they've asked before. Not necessarily word for word, but just the general questions that they have asked. So, sorry, my dog's playing with a toy in the background. Dexter, enough! Good boy. Okay, so I'm gonna basically just be reading off a whole bunch of questions, and my intention for this is basically to help me practice too, but if this helps any of you, that's great. What I'm gonna do is just basically state the question, and then after each question, I'll let you pause it, or me pause it, or whoever's practicing with this video, and then you answer the question. Once you're done answering the question, hit play again, and then the next question will come. So these questions will be back to back if you don't hit pause. So here we go. Question number 1 is typically, what would it mean to you to work for Disney? What does Disney mean to you? What would you look for in a CP applicant? What can you offer the company? Can you please list your top 3 roles and explain to me how your past work experience will help you in them? At which resort or park would you prefer to work at? How would you handle an emergency? How would you interact with guests and make a guest day? Are you willing to maintain the Disney look? Have you ever roomed with someone before? If you have, what conflict have you had that you had to resolve, and what was the outcome? If you haven't, how would you handle a conflict that would arise? What do you think the program will help you with in your career? How would you make a guest feel special? How would you handle a guest that doesn't speak English but really needs help? How have you benefited from your past job experiences? Would you rather work in an indoor or outdoor environment? What are you most looking forward to? Have you ever been to Disney World or Disneyland, and did you enjoy it? And why? Do you mind working mornings or evenings, or late shifts or really early shifts? How do you feel about working weekends and holidays? Would you rather work independently or in a group setting? Do you prefer to work in a fast-paced or more slow-paced environment? What would you do in a long and tedious job? Can you handle working over 40 hours a week sometimes? How would your coworkers describe you in 3 words? Okay, and some of these roles are going to be targeted towards more specific roles that you may be applying for, or that may be in your top choices. So the first I'm going to kind of go over is a couple questions for PhotoPass. Are you familiar with the different parts of the camera? Have you ever had to work with a DSLR camera? Do you have any previous experience with working with cameras or Photoshop? What do you say to a guest who wants their photo taken immediately when you're already taking pictures of another guest? Okay, now these questions are kind of more targeted for our attractions. What do you say to a child that's too short to go on a ride but really wants to go on it? Sometimes attractions are repetitive. How would you be able to handle that? Have you ever had to give a speech that was 10 minutes long that you had to memorize in front of a crowd of people? Okay, these next questions are geared towards character attendant. What does character integrity mean to you? How do you explain to a small child that a character cannot talk? What do you say to an upset guest that has waited in line for a character and they are unable to meet them because they have to leave? How do you explain to a child that a character has to leave? What would you do if a child was being rough with a character? What would you do if a child was afraid of a character? Okay, these questions are geared towards merchandise. They may ask you to do a simple math equation of how to give change back to the customer. I'll let you practice that on your own. What would you do if a customer wanted an item but it was out of stock? You will have to be able to pin trade. Are you okay with small children touching your lanyard and trading pins with you? If your phone is ringing, you're checking a customer out, and someone needs help finding an item out on the floor, what do you do? Okay, these next questions are going to be geared towards custodial. Have you ever had any experience cleaning? Are you allergic to any chemicals, cleaning supplies, or latex? Can you handle multitasking and having to talk to a wide range of people? Can you handle working up to 8 hours outside a day? These are also some other questions that they may ask you. Tell me about a time you were a team player. Name a time when you went out of your way to make a guest feel special. Tell me about a time when you had to handle an emergency. Tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult guest or coworker or manager. Name something you particularly didn't like about one of your past jobs. What are your weaknesses and what are your strengths? Also have about 2 to 3 questions prepared for your interviewer. They will ask you at the end of your interview if you have any questions for them, and it's always nice just to ask them a couple questions. Alright, but that's all for now, so thanks for watching. I hope this helped.
Bye! Mickey Mouse! I love Mickey!
Number 1.